They just showed their hand. While the Western financial media was busy covering the volatility, while traders were panicking over the 8.7% crash, while the algorithms were hunting stop losses, China quietly released the most important document in the silver market this year, and nobody is talking about it. On Tuesday, the Chinese Ministry of Commerce published the official list of companies authorized to export silver for 2026 and 2027. The number is 44. That is it. Out of thousands of refiners, processors, and trading companies in the world's largest silver processing nation, only 44 entities will be allowed to ship silver outside of China for the next 2 years. Let that satisfy for a moment. The country that processes the majority of the world's silver has just created an official choke point. They have named the gatekeepers. And if your company is not on that list, your silver stays in China. This is not speculation. This is not a rumor from an anonymous source. This is official Chinese government policy published on the Ministry of Commerce website, effective January 1st. But here is what makes this truly extraordinary. The Western media reported this as neutral news. They said China added 2 more companies compared to 2025. They framed it as a slight loosening. They completely missed the point. Adding 2 companies to a restricted list does not mean the restrictions are easing. It means the restrictions are permanent. It means Beijing has institutionalized the export control system. They are not testing it anymore. They are building the infrastructure for long-term supply management. This is the same playbook they used with rare earths. First, they implement controls. Then, they create an official licensing system. Then they slowly tighten the screws while the world adjusts to the new reality. By the time Western governments realize what happened, China controls the supply chain completely. And the timing of this announcement is not coincidental. It came on the same day silver rebounded 7% from its worst single-day crash in 4 years. It came while traders were still trying to understand what happened on Monday. It came while the algorithms were recalibrating and the margin calls were being settled. Beijing released this list when nobody was paying attention because they did not want anyone to pay attention. Let me explain why this 44-company list changes everything about the silver market going forward. When you restrict exports to a small number of licensed entities, you create a cartel structure. These 44 companies now have enormous pricing power. They can coordinate, they can withhold supply, they can demand premium prices from foreign buyers because there is no alternative. If you want Chinese processed silver, you go through one of the 44 or you get nothing. Think about what this means for the solar industry. Think about what this means for electronics manufacturers. Think about what this means for the defense sector. These industries cannot function without silver. Solar panels require silver paste for conductivity. Every smartphone contains silver. Every missile guidance system uses silver contacts. And now, access to that silver from China runs through 44 gatekeepers who answer to Beijing. Elon Musk understands this. Over the weekend, he posted on X that China's export restrictions on silver were, quote, not good. He said silver is needed in many industrial processes. This is the world's richest man, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, publicly expressing concern about silver supply. He is not talking about gold. He's not talking about Bitcoin. He is talking about silver because his companies need it, because his solar panels need it, because his electric vehicles need it, and because he sees what is coming. The market reaction on Monday and Tuesday tells you everything about the current state of silver. We hit $80 per ounce for the first time in history during overnight trading. Normal markets do not move 8% down and 7% up in consecutive sessions. Normal markets have liquidity. Normal markets have stable price discovery. What we are witnessing is a market where the paper derivative system is completely disconnected from physical reality. The futures market says silver is worth $75. The industrial buyer in Shanghai is paying $89. That 14 spread is not a trading opportunity, it is a warning siren. Let me walk you through what actually happened on Monday because the mainstream narrative is completely wrong. They will tell you that silver crashed because of profit taking. They will tell you that retail investors panicked. They will tell you that the rally was overdone and needed a correction. This is propaganda designed to make you doubt your position. Here is what really happened. Silver was approaching $80 during thin holiday trading. Liquidity was minimal because it was the week between Christmas and New Year. The order books were empty. At that precise moment, a massive sell order hit the market. We are talking about the kind of size that only institutions can execute. This selling cascaded through the empty order book, triggering stop losses, triggering margin calls, triggering algorithmic selling programs. The price fell not because of fundamental selling, but because of mechanical liquidation in a market with no buyers present. This is the same playbook they have used for decades. Wait for thin liquidity. Hit the market with overwhelming size. Let the algorithms do the rest. Scoop up the cheap metal after weak hands have been flushed out. It worked in 2011. It worked in 2020. And they tried it again on Monday. But something different happened this time. The market bounced back 7% the next day. The buyers stepped in immediately. The physical demand did not disappear. The Shanghai premium did not compress. The industrial consumers kept bidding. The crash did not stick. For the first time, the manipulation failed to reset the market lower. It created a one-day sale, and the smart money bought it instantly. This is the new reality of the silver market. The paper games still work in the short term. They can still create violent intraday moves. They can still trigger margin calls and stop losses. But they cannot change the fundamental supply and demand picture. They cannot print physical silver. They cannot make China reverse its export restrictions. They cannot reduce industrial demand from the solar industry. And that industrial demand is the story that nobody wants to discuss honestly. Silver demand from solar panel manufacturing increased 64% last year. It is now the single largest source of silver demand, larger than jewelry, larger than investment, larger than photography ever was. Every gigawatt of solar capacity requires silver. The green energy transition that every government is pushing requires silver. The electrification of the global economy requires silver. Meanwhile, mine supply is flat. Primary silver production has not meaningfully increased in years. Most silver comes as a byproduct of copper, lead, and zinc mining. You cannot just open new silver mines to meet demand because there are very few pure silver deposits left to develop. The supply side is constrained by geology. The demand side is accelerating because of policy. This equation only resolves one way, and that way is higher prices. The 158% year-to-date gain tells you the market is starting to figure this out. Silver has outperformed every major asset class in 2025. It has outperformed gold. It has outperformed the S&P 500. It has outperformed Bitcoin. It has outperformed real estate. And it did this despite repeated smash attempts in the paper market. It did this despite mainstream media ignoring the story. It did this despite analysts calling it a bubble at $30, at $40, at $50, at $60, and at $70. Every time they said it was overdone, it went higher. Every time they manufactured a crash, buyers stepped in. Every time they tried to reset the narrative, physical demand overwhelmed paper supply. Now we enter 2026 with China's export restrictions officially in place. Now we enter the new year with only 44 companies authorized to ship silver out of the world's largest processor. Now we enter a market where Elon Musk is publicly worried about supply. Now we enter a period where solar installations are accelerating globally. Now we enter an environment where data centers for artificial intelligence are consuming record amounts of silver for thermal management and conductivity. The analysts at Lombard Odier said commodities will be top performers in 2026. They are right, but they hedged by saying